Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our third episode of Madrasty Science Club. My name is Jomana Tariq Abdurazik. I'm studying for a master's degree in petroleum engineering at University of Houston, and I will be your podcaster this afternoon. These sessions will introduce different topics in science each week for children age 10 and up. Attendance will be followed by tests with a passing score of 70%. If achieved, the participant will get a certificate. We are still accepting young future scientists into the program. So if you're interested, make sure you apply before the deadline. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out our YouTube channel and join our Facebook page, Madrasty, for the latest updates on our upcoming courses. With that, I ask you to give your full attention in the podcast. In this episode, we will give an introduction about basic geographic parameters and their importance to our beloved Earth. Today, we are pleased to welcome our future scientists, Yusuf, Saif, Julie, Tuta, and Basin. Now, future scientists, please introduce yourself. We'll start with Yusuf.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Yusuf. I am 13, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Julie.
Hi, my name is Jolie. I'm 9 years old, and I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here. Saif.
Hi. Hi, my name is Saif. I'm 14 and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Basil.
Hi, I'm Basil. I'm 10 years old and I'm in 5th grade. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you. Tuta.
Hey everyone, I'm Tuta. I'm 13 and I'm really excited to be here.
Great. Are the future scientists ready to take over the world?
Yes.
Sure.
Let's start. Now we'll move to the first definition. What is a mountain? We'll start with Jolie.
A mountain is a landform that rises high above the surroundings terrain in a limited area. Mountains are higher than 600 meters.
Awesome. Yusuf?
So mountains are generally made from rock and earth. Anything that is less than 600 meters is not considered a mountain. It's actually considered a hill. And some mountains have trees growing on their sides, and very high mountains, very tall mountains have snow on their peaks.
Awesome. Saif, is there something you'd like to add?
Mountains are formed when two tectonic plates converge and one slides over the other.
Wow. That's interesting. Basil?
And the mountain is actually a volcano is a kind of mountain which has lava, boiling lava from the earth. So it makes a volcano and sometimes it explodes after some time.
Great. Tuta?
The tallest mountain is Mount Everest.
Thank you, guys. Now we'll move to the next definition. Iceberg. What is an iceberg? We'll start with Jolie.
An iceberg is a large piece of ice floating in the sea.
Great. Yusuf?
All right. So icebergs are generally found in cold water near the North or South Pole. Icebergs break off from larger structures made of ice, like glaciers or ice shelves. These are formed by snowfall in very cold places where it will not melt in the summer.
Awesome. Saif?
A majority of an iceberg is underwater, so you can only see a very small amount of it.
Great. Basil?
I don't really have anything to add.
Tuta?
No thanks. I don't have anything.
I have one more thing to add, please.
Please go ahead.
Well, because of global warming, many icebergs are melting at a rapid rate. So their scientists have suspected that in a few million or billions of years, the Earth will not have any form of icebergs if global warming continues.
That's great to know. Thank you, Yusuf. So just like you said, an iceberg is ice that broke off from glaciers or shelf ice and is floating in open water. Icebergs are usually located in Ross Sea. And that leads us to move to the next definition. What is a river? Jolie.
A river is a flowing, moving stream of water. Usually, a river feeds water into an ocean, lake, pond, or even another river.
Great job. Yusuf, is there something you'd like to add?
Sure. Rivers can vary in size, and there's no hard definition or rule on how big a flow of water must be categorized as a river. And rivers flow downhill from their source.
All right. Safe?
The Grand Canyon was cut into by a river, causing it to dip so deep.
Wow. Basin?
First of all, I'm safe with saying, yes, the Grand Canyon was made by a river that went through a rocky mountain and made it split into two parts to make a little river. And rivers can also go, if they go like from like a little mountain edge, so to make a waterfall.
Good job. Tuta?
Most rivers are actually freshwater, and that's where people get the fresh water from, so they can drink water.
Absolutely. Like you guys said, a river is a large natural stream of water flowing in a channel to a sea or a lake or another stream. Moving to the next definition, what is a continent? We'll start with Julie.
A continent is a large solid area of land, and also Earth has 7 continents.
Good job. Yusuf, is there something you'd like to add?
Sure. These 7 continents are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia.
Great. Safe?
The continents formed from a supercontinent called Pangea millions of years ago.
Basin?
First of all, the continent Africa has a part split from it, which is Sinai in Egypt. That's actually attached to Asia, by the way.
Oh, that's interesting to know. Tuta?
I want to say some other things, by the way. The Pangea, when it broke up, it made the 4 continents. So it broke into like 7 parts. So it made each of the continents.
Good job.
Thanks.
Tuta?
Well, some people say that there's some, like the old world and new world. The new world refers to America, like North America and South America, and the other continents are called the old world.
So like you said, a continent is any of the world's main continuous expanses of land, and these include Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, Australia, Antarctica.
I'd like to add something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whenever the continents broke apart from each other, even right now, they're still spreading apart. So there's a theory, since the Earth is round, of course, there's a theory that since the continents are spreading apart from each other and they're still like slowly going farther away, they'll circle around the Earth and then collide, forming a new supercontinent.
Wow, that is interesting to know. Thanks for sharing. Jolie?
Also, sometimes people think of Europe and Asia as a single continent called Eurasia.
Wow, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing. Now we'll move to the next definition. What is a forest? We'll start with Jolie.
Every forest is a complex living system made up of thickly growing trees, bushes, and vines.
Okay. Yusuf?
Forests are very important ecosystems to many different animals, such as mammals, birds, insects, and sometimes even things like monkeys, parrots, anything like that. But those are usually found in rainforests instead of normal forests.
Mm-hmm. Safe?
Forest fires occur in order to remove ground cover to allow new life to grow on the floor of the forest.
Basin? About some forests actually kind of have little streams in them, so they can sometimes have algae in them and other sea plants and some baby fish, maybe. That's kind of rare though.
That's good to know. Tuta?
I don't have anything to add. Thanks.
Okay, back to you, Yusuf.
I have a fun fact. So, well, I mean, it's not really fun, but there are a few rainforests, so actually almost all rainforests, they have really tall trees. And those trees have large leaves that block out sunlight from the ground, which is why sometimes it's really hard for new plants or trees to grow because there's a bunch of taller trees that are blocking off the sunlight from the bottom.
That's really interesting to know. Thanks for sharing. Now we'll move to the next definition. What is an island? Starting with Jolie.
An island is a body of land that is surrounded by water. Some islands are found in rivers, lakes, and ponds, but most islands are in oceans.
Thank you. Basil, you raised your hand. Go ahead.
I raised my hand because I want to say a lot of things about an island. Islands can sometimes be big ones, and sometimes can have like a mini forest that have a lot of palm trees together, and can sometimes even have animals and insects.
Mm-hmm. Tuta, is there something you'd like to add?
Yes, please. Islands are formed when magma, like when volcanoes are under the water, when they like explode, they form islands. And like Bessa said, you can find a lot of creatures on them.
Awesome, thanks for sharing. Yusuf?
Okay, so some islands, such as Madagascar, are considered nations, and then other islands are considered part of a bigger nation.
That's true. Safe?
The largest island in the world is considered to be Greenland.
Oh, that's really good to know. All right, moving to the next definition. What is a desert? Tuta? You raised your hand.
When someone usually thinks of a desert, they think of a hot place. But most deserts are hot, but some deserts are cold.
All right. Now, Jolie.
Well, a desert is a place that is really dry and almost no rain falls. And also, Antarctica is kind of a desert.
That's good to know. I did not know that. Basin?
The deserts have lots of kinds of animals, and actually deserts, like back then, but before they became deserts, they can they were sometimes had lakes. That's why they might find some mummified kinds of fish under the sand, and the cacti only live in the desert because they have spines. So instead of also they can store water and don't lose any water. Instead of having leaves or flowers.
All right, thank you. Yusuf?
Okay, so some deserts are huge areas of sand or flat stony ground, while other deserts have rocky hills and mountains.
That's good to know. Safe?
I have been to both types of desert, and I'll tell you that the ones that have more canyons and vegetation, like the one in the picture, or we have them a lot around here, have a lot of wildlife compared to much more arid and flat deserts like the Sahara.
That's good to know. Thank you. So a desert is an area of arid land that receives snow more than 25 centimeters or 10 inches of precipitation a year. Moving on to the next definition, we have erosion. What do you know about erosion? We'll start with Jolie.
Erosion is the wearing away of the land by forces such as water, wind, and ice.
Absolutely. Now moving to Yusuf.
Erosion has helped to form many interesting features of the Earth's surface, including mountain peaks, valleys, and coastlines. And also, fun fact, the Hawaiian Islands, which are created by an active volcano which is under the water, there are multiple of them, but many of them have been submerged inside of the water because of erosion.
That's great to know. Safe?
Erosion causes the beds or the bottom of rivers to become really smooth. So the rocks at the bottom of rivers are very smooth. They're not jagged like other rocks.
Thank you. Basil?
I don't have anything to add.
And Tuta, do you have anything to add?
Nothing.
All right.
Okay, can I say something about soil erosion?
Yes, please go ahead.
Soil erosion is when the soil spoils, like when people get machines to flip the soil so they can grow new plants, but that makes the soil bed spread, so it makes a free fall.
That's good to know. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
So erosion is the gradual destruction of a rock by physical or chemical action through the help of agents, including wind, water, and other natural agents. Now we'll move to our next definition. A country. What is a country? And let's start by Jolie.
A country is land that is controlled by a single government.
Thank you. Now Basil and Tuta.
Okay, well, there are 100, well, each continent is divided into countries, and in total there are 195 countries.
Thank you. Yusuf?
I have nothing to add.
All right. Safe?
Countries are actually known as states. So, and nations are groups of people. So when you refer to a country, you're actually referring to a state.
Okay, awesome. So a country is a nation with its own government, occupying a particular territory of land. Now we'll move to the next definition. And what is a canyon? Starting with Jolie.
A canyon is a narrow, deep valley cut by a river through rock.
That's interesting. Yusuf?
Canyons range in size from narrow slits to huge trenches. They have very steep sides and may be thousands of feet deep. Smaller valleys of similar appearance are called gorges, and canyons are created by erosion.
Absolutely. Basil, you raised your hand. Go ahead.
The Grand Canyon is exactly like the one in the picture. A river came in and cut through as if it's carved through the rocks. So it made it look like it made it really deep. So there must have been so much water with powerful force, so it was able to erode it.
That's great to know. Thanks for sharing. Tuta?
The largest canyon in the world is the Grand Canyon. It's about 277 miles long.
Safe?
Canyons can also be formed by tectonic plate divergence, which is when two tectonic plates move away from each other, making the hole in the ground.
That's great to know. A canyon is a deep, narrow valley with steep sides. Okay. And that was our last definition for today. You guys did a great job. So who do you guys think is the future scientist? We'll start with Jolie.
I think Yusuf's going to be the future scientist.
Oh, what a loving brotherly love. Yusuf.
So I vote for everyone. There's no one
That's
that I'm particular. There's no
democratic
one that I'm
answer.
biased to.
Okay. Safe?
I believe Google will be a future scientist because it's going to take
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Basin?
My answer is the same as Yusuf. We'll all be future scientists.
All right. Tuta?
Yeah, I'm with Yusuf in this. I hope we're all going to be future scientists.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys did a great job today. Thank you, future scientists, for joining us today. If your kid is interested to join us on the next session, please make sure to contact Madrasty Facebook page for a 5-minute interview. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out our YouTube channel for our previous sessions and join our Facebook page, Madrasty, for our latest updates. Thank you guys for joining us today. Bye. See you next week.
Bye.
All right, see you next week.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.